Donald Trump his whole thing of let's make America great again, I think it has gotten too much into his head. That's where the question, that's where my whole point is coming in to say, is Trump handling these issues in the manner that it should be handled, or is it being too extra? Is it doing more than he should? Low key, Trump is a dictator. If Trump could actually rule with an iron fist, I feel like he would, and he wouldn't even hesitate to do it. At least from my point of view. And as a viewer, please do comment right there. Tell me what you think. From my point of view, there's nothing Trump is doing with a genuine intention of actually saying, you know what, let's make an actual positive change for everyone. Disclaimer, this podcast is all about real conversations. Raw, authentic, and unscripted. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in Raw Conversations are solely those of the host and the guests. If you're struggling, please reach out to someone qualified. And remember, take what helps, leave what doesn't. Welcome to the circle. Let's keep it raw, real, and respectful. Welcome to Raw Conversations with me, Herald Kavuala. Let's talk about a bully that the whole world currently shares right now. I feel like all of us as a planet, as a globe, we all have one bully right now that we are fascinated. I am fascinated by him, honestly. And I'm talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump his whole thing of let's make America great again, I think it has gotten too much into his head that his way of doing things now no longer follows procedure in a way. Oh, it's just very, very, very controversial. It makes everyone wonder, what on earth is Donald Trump doing? So, I'm not big on politics. I don't like getting involved in politics, but this is very interesting, very fascinating to me. And so I thought I'd just come in also pose you guys a few questions and ask you guys, what do you think about the way Donald Trump is handling things right now? I mean, we all know he's not going to come back after this term. He's serving second term. And in America, you can't do a third term. Obama couldn't do a third term. So I have a feeling that Trump knows that. And because he knows that, he wants to do everything he possibly can within these 4 years to make America great again. And I'm putting it in quotation because his way of doing things is just diabolical, honestly speaking. And I'm just going to point out at three things that honestly, to me, it makes everything look awkward, or it makes everything look weird. It makes it feel as though, Trump, are you actually doing your research before making the decisions you're making, or are you just doing it based off the word of someone else? Or are you just doing it based off impulse? Or are you just doing it because you have the power to do it? You have the military power. You have the nukes, you have the missiles to actually go out there and dominate these countries. Is it feeding off the weaker countries? Because when Trump was putting tariffs on China, China was putting tariffs on Trump. And it was all back and forth. You put tariffs, I put tariffs. You put limitations, I put limitations. You do this, I do that. And I feel as though now he's now picking on the lesser countries to prove that they have power. Here's one incident. I'll start off with home. I'm in South Africa, right? So Trump refuses to give South Africa aid because Elon Musk told him that there's a white genocide in South Africa. Trump took that as law. Ramaphosa and his cabinet went to the White House to speak to Trump, and Trump put out footages saying, no, there's an entire driveway of cemeteries of people, of all the white people that were buried. And Ramaphosa was like, I don't even know where that place is in South Africa. But despite that, Trump still refuses to believe there's actually no white genocide in South Africa. And as a result, he didn't want to come to South Africa during the G20 summit, of which there was a handover procedure that was supposed to take place between Ramaphosa and Donald Trump. But he refused to come all in the name of there's a white genocide in South Africa.
I want to ask you about South African refugees. Dozens of Afrikaners who claim discrimination in their home country are heading to the United States, right, where your administration is going to welcome them as refugees. Now, this comes as you've halted virtually all refugee admissions for people fleeing famine and war from countries like Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Why are you creating an expedited path into the country for Afrikaners but not others?
Because they're being killed, and we don't want to see people be killed. Now, South Africa leadership is coming to see me, I understand, sometime next week. And, we're supposed to have a I guess a G20 meeting there or something, but we're having a G20 meeting. I don't know how we can go unless that situation's taken care of, but it's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about, but it's a terrible thing that's taking place, and farmers are being killed. They happen to be white, but whether they're white or black makes no difference to me, but white farmers are being brutally killed, and their land is being confiscated in South Africa. And the newspapers and the media, television media, doesn't even talk about it. If it were the other way around, they'd talk about it. That would be the only story they'd talk about. And I don't care who they are. I don't care about their race, their color. I don't care about their height, their weight. I don't care about anything. I just know that what's happening is terrible. I have people that live in South Africa. They say it's a terrible situation taking place. So we've essentially extended citizenship to those people to escape from that violence and come here.
Where is the proof, Mr. Trump? Where is the proof that we are actually killing people in South Africa? White people in South Africa. It's black on black crime. We've had this talk before. Second thing, Trump launches a military airstrike attack against Islamic State militants in the northwest Nigeria, Sokoto state. Trump publicly announced on his social medias, because Trump has 20 fingers, we know this for all the years he's been in power. And it says that the strikes were aimed at groups he claimed had been targeting and viciously killing innocent Christians. I'm a Christian, and I'm for supporting the protection of all Christians worldwide, wherever they are, be it in Muslim nations, be it in whatever non-believing nations, whatever nation a Christian is, they should be protected, regardless of it. In fact, not even just Christians. Any person believing in anything should just be protected. But as a Christian, I strongly do support that we Christians should be protected. But in the manner in which Trump did it, I don't think that was right. To actually launch an airstrike against Islamic States because he believed that they were targeting and viciously killing Christians. Yes, there is an attack on Christians in the Nigerian nations. They are being killed in numbers. That is true. But to put out an airstrike, that's where the question, that's where my whole point is coming in to say, is Trump handling these issues in the manner that it should be handled, or is it being too extra? Is it doing more than he should be doing? Is he using his power to show that he can do this and get away with it?
Trump said the US hit Islamic State in Nigeria because they were targeting primarily innocent Christians. But is this true? We fact-checked it. The US has targeted IS in 3 different countries, Syria, Somalia, and Nigeria, in the span of 1 week. But it's only after the strike in Nigeria that Trump mentioned IS killing Christians. The US military's Africa Command said the strike on Sokoto state took place in coordination with Nigerian authorities and killed multiple IS militants. But a journalist on the ground told us that one of the communities hit has never been affected by insecurity.
They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria.
The US military strike comes weeks after Trump warned that Christianity faces an existential threat in Nigeria and threatened to militarily intervene, he says, over the failure to stop violence targeting Christian communities. After the operation, Trump posted on Truth Social that the United States launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years and even centuries. So according to data, are Trump's claims of Christians primarily being targeted in Nigeria even remotely true? Nigeria is roughly split between a Muslim population predominantly living in the north and a Christian population living in the south. Each dot on this map marks an incident of militia violence, including Islamic State, West Africa Province, and Boko Haram attacks. And the spread of dots across the map suggests that violent attacks, including forced abductions and sexual violence, are more evenly spread across Muslim and Christian areas in Nigeria. In fact, there are a higher number of attacks taking place in Muslim areas, 1,628 incidents versus 865 attacks in Christian areas, according to data from December 2025. This chart tracking attacks suggests that since 2024, the number of mosque attacks overtook attacks on churches. The figures also include abductions. And on Christmas Eve, a bomb exploded in a mosque in Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State, killing at least 5 people. The data from the armed conflict location and event data monitor just doesn't support Trump's claims of Christians in Nigeria being disproportionately targeted by terrorist groups. In spite of the reality on the ground, Trump seems to be appealing to evangelical Christian supporters who've long condemned violence against Christians in Nigeria. And in November, he designated Nigeria a country of particular concern over the alleged persecution of Christians, and instructed the Pentagon to prepare for possible action in Nigeria and threatened to cut US aid. The Nigerian government has publicly acknowledged that it cooperated with the US on precision hits in Sokoto State, while maintaining the line that armed groups target both Muslims and Christians in the West African country.
The third incident that just happened not so long ago, and they're obviously trying to cover it in a very political manner, but in simple English term, Trump kidnapped the president of Venezuela. That's the most simplest way you can describe it. Trump kidnaps the president. The United States under President Donald Trump launched a military operation in Venezuela early on January 3rd, involving strikes and special forces action. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores were captured by US forces in Venezuela and then taken out of the country. So the president and his wife he was in his country. Trump invaded the country. Well, America invaded the country. And they took the president and his wife back to the States, where he will have to stand on trial for the charges he's being accused of. This capture was described by Donald Trump's administration as part of efforts to enforce U.S. criminal charges, notably drug trafficking and narco-terrorism, indictments that had been unsealed in New York years earlier. Now, the president himself, Nicolas, pleaded not guilty on drug charges and says that he was kidnapped.
Did the U.S. military just kidnap Nicolas Maduro?
U.S. President Donald Trump says the American military has captured President Nicolas Maduro and his wife.
Maduro said that he was kidnapped from his home in Caracas.
Kidnap is a loaded word because it implies illegality. Maybe a more neutral way of describing Maduro's capture is as an abduction. But the U.S. government calls it an arrest.
It's largely a law enforcement function. This was an arrest of 2 indicted fugitives of American justice.
And just to be clear, this isn't some nerdy question about semantics. It's a question about law and whether the U.S. has the legal right to extract world leaders from their homes, and maybe even whether other countries might have that right too.
I, as an outsider, stand with President Venezuela. Sharp, maybe he's a drug dealer. Maybe he's into the narco-terrorism and all that stuff. I don't know him personally. But to invade a country, take the president out of his country, and make him face charges in another country, that to me sounds like kidnapping. Attacking another country because they are killing Christians and you're attacking them through airstrikes and bombing, that to me just typically sounds like being a bully. Not coming to a country on the name of white genocide because your friend told you it is white genocide. Not because it actually is white genocide, but because your friend told you that it is white genocide. You believe them and decide not to actually send aid to the country of South Africa, not step foot at the G20 summit. That also to me sounds very, very low-key. Trump is a dictator. If Trump could actually rule with an iron fist, I feel like he would, and he wouldn't even hesitate to do that. A lot of the things that Trump has been doing since he stepped into power has been very impulsive and very emotionally driven. Trump is not just out here trying to make America great again at whatever cost, regardless of the damages it caused. He decided to say, no, I'm going to bring peace between Congo and Rwanda. We all want Congo and Rwanda to be at peace, right? But then he goes and takes our minerals. Same as Venezuela, he went and took their oil. trillions worth of gallons of oil. He took those, he seized them. He seized the Congolese minerals as well. Even in other countries where he goes and help other countries, he seizes something. This is Trump on a hunger strike for power. Trump is on a hunger strike for power. There's nothing that he's doing, at least from my point of view. And as a viewer, please do comment right there. Tell me what you think. From my point of view, there's nothing Trump is doing with a genuine intention of actually saying, you know what, let's make an actual positive change for everyone. For Trump, it's all about making America great, making America look good, making America look powerful, making America look untouchable. That's what it's all about for him. What it does to these other nations, what it does to other countries, that doesn't concern him. South Africa, we're lucky. At least somewhere, somehow, our economy is kind of stabilizing. Things are kind of getting a little better. But still, the aid that America used to give South Africa helped a lot. We've got a very high percentage of people living with HIV and AIDS in South Africa. All those medical aid that used to come from the state was helping South Africa a lot. And this is because of the other aid that America used to give South Africa. It helps. When you go bomb a country like, for example, you go bomb Nigeria in the name of, no, we're attacking the Islamic States because they're persecuting and killing Christians. Sharp. The damages that you cause, who's paying for the damages? Nigeria has to pay for those damages. Because America won't go pay for that. Nigeria will have to pay for that. So Trump is just going out there invading countries and doing whatever he wants to do because he knows that these countries cannot retaliate. I promise you, if Trump had to do one of those attacks or any of this thing like kidnapping, why doesn't Trump go kidnap Vladimir Putin? Kidnap Putin and then call Zelensky and then try and make peace in that country. But then he goes and tries to kidnap the Venezuelan president because he knows that Venezuela is not strong enough to fight America. He refuses to give South African aid because he knows South Africa is not strong enough to fight Nigeria, to fight America. Nigeria is not strong enough to fight America. He's just bullying the smaller countries. Again, like I said, if Trump could be a dictator right now, he would. Low-key, he is. Trump is just making decisions and getting involved in things that how he got involved with America and I mean with Congo and Rwanda, I don't know. It just happened that he's like, no, I'm gonna bring peace between Rwanda and Congo. Yes, Congo has been reaching out to the state and asking for help, but no one has been saying anything. Trump comes in power, he's like, I'm gonna resolve this. Right? And then he goes there and actually pulls out the misinformation. Someone is always saying fake news, fake news. He goes out there and pulls out fake news. There was an image that he pulled out saying, no, that this is the killings that are happening in Congo, Goma, and it wasn't true. Same thing with South Africa. He pulled out a document saying that no, the killings that are happening in South Africa, and that wasn't true. That wasn't true at all. Trump is just making decisions based off impulse, based off emotions, based off the fact that he knows he can get away with it. And like I said, guys, on my platform, I try not to touch on politics, but I just find them very fascinating. I find them very interesting. And I say, let me come and share my 2 cents. And hopefully you guys in the comment section can tell me what you guys think about how Trump is handling things. If you guys think he's handling things as he should, please share in the comment section. If you agree with what I'm saying, share in the comment section as well. Let's have a conversation going, guys. Let us get into activity. New year. I'm trying to do things differently this year. And yeah, I mean, by the way, guys, it's 2020 here, 2026. Like I said, this year, be focused, be disciplined. Make money this year. Hit the gym. Stay healthy. Drink water. I'm drinking water. Drink water. I drink at least 3 to 4 liters of water every single day. So, yeah, guys, that was my 2 cents on Donald Trump. I just had to come share with you guys. I find it's been very fascinating. The things that he's doing is very fascinating. And I think we're only like 2 years in. Let me just see how long has Trump been in power. And he's doing so much. Let's just quickly see this. I think it's about 2 years or so. Why is it taking so long to load? As of now, January 26th. Yep, it's about 2 years. First term was between 20 January. Second term was 2020. Oh yeah, so wow. It's only been 11 months since Trump took power. And gosh, look at all the things this man has already done. It's only been 11 months, just under 1 year. He took power in January 20th of January 2025 till now. So it's like 11 months and now, 11 and a half months that Trump has been in power. And the things that he's already done is very, very mind-blowing. It's like Trump is trying to achieve something each and every single month. I mean, I've only mentioned 3 things that he has done. And then I hadn't spoken about Congo and Rwanda already. That's already 4 things. And then there's the tariffs that he imposed on many other countries. That's already 5. He's already put some laws on immigration in the States. That's already 6. The list goes on and on and on, and it's only been 11 months. Trump is a bully. Trump is low-key a dictator. And he can because, he's got the power of America behind him. The greatest nation in the world. It says, make America great again. Amen. I got nothing against Trump. I got nothing against the States. I'm not trying to get banned from entering the country. I do intend to visit the country one day, so I hope this doesn't get me on the no-fly zone of the States. But yeah, man, I'm just expressing my freedom of speech, and I'm just sharing my 2 cents. So yeah, if you've come this far in the podcast, I really appreciate you guys. I thank you so much for tuning in. This year, we're going to do things differently. This year, we're focused. This year, we're driven. This year, we're disciplined. I'm going to get in a lot of hope guests in there. It's still about men. It's still about our mindsets. It's still about us achieving greatness as men, as fathers, as leaders, as brothers. It's still about us. We're going to get a woman's perspective on how they perceive men and how they look at men. And then if all goes well, get a panel. Get two or three ladies, 2 or 3 men, and we have a discussion. It's still about that. That's my whole platform. It's all about. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you heard, don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Stay raw, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.